Hi everyone. This is Abhay Goyal. So now we have brought a new guest to our channel here, Mr. Achal. Soon to Dr. Achal sometime afterwards. Yeah. So the intention with this channel again is to bring new stories to you, bring new stories of different people to you, bring out the way in which people suffer in different ways and how they make their path and get to where they are right now. So today we have with us Achal. So Achal is currently doing his BC in physics. That's BSc with research in physics. It's a 4-year program at Shiv Nada University. And yeah, so go ahead, Achal, take up the floor. Maybe you can tell better about the program, how you got here.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm Achal. Thank you for introducing me. And so, as you said, like I'm currently enrolled in a BSc Physics program, which is a very non-conventional stream, I would say, in India. So, first of all, that was I think, a totally, I think, different choice for me.
yeah. So you, as you said, you mentioned that this is a pretty unconventional stream that people don't usually take. What kind of a trouble have you had faced till now? You're in 13 right now. So what kind of troubles have you faced till now? Uh, because of being this being an unconventional, specifically you're in the sciences, right? So this being an
Right.
unconventional field, what kind of troubles have you?
Okay. So, okay, let's start from then when I was choosing my field. So,
Yeah,
I didn't really have any particular choices as such. I mean, choices in the sense that I was not sure what I would be doing. And since I come from a family which mostly consists of doctors and engineers, so I was kind of in a subtle pressure that I might as well go with engineering
right,
and probably in computer science only because I felt joy in programming, but then I wasn't very um, motivated to take it up to that level. So
hmm,
I wasn't very sure like what I had to do. I was like going through YouTube and various of the documentaries which we usually come across using, through these Discovery Science channels or Discoveries or something like that. And some of them pretty motivated me in some sense. And I was very moved by the fact that there were some questions which we tend to take for granted. So and we have sort of stopped questioning them. So for example, like okay, we take the speed of light to be constant, but then it's a very famous question. I would say like speed is a relative term. So no one goes ahead and asks like how like with what respect are we talking about over here? What's the frame of reference and all that stuff? The thing is, see, there are like certain questions like this one which have been pretty nicely tackled by giant, great people, Einstein, Newton. We have heard of them. Uh, but a part of science which I feel motivated by is that if it's research what you're doing, you can't really fixate upon something. It's still a theory. Okay, it fits well up till now. You are getting the results, and uh, things are going pretty smooth, I would say. No other contradictions or no other experiments have been able to, defy that sort of experiment or defy that sort of claim that we are making. But then still there is 1% chance that you might question and you might get something totally new. I was even late, I think, in deciding my fields. I kind of took a drop year, and
hmm,
it was only in that drop year that I got to spend time with my thoughts, with my interests, and clear them out with myself, like what I had to actually do. And then by the time it was very late, so I wasn't left with many choices of exams. So I had to get these conventional JEE and mains
hmm.
in advance. And yeah, I think through that didn't help me, but okay, it did give me an exposure. It did give me an exposure to these stuff, and how do you deal with that exam pressure and stuff like that. So it definitely helped me in that front, but not as such in my basic sciences. I could have been that was.
So what did you do in that drop year that helped you
So
now? That
as I
made
said, like I wasn't very sure like with what I had to do. So in my drop year, I had again enrolled for a coaching for engineering exams, so basically
for
JEE
J.
mains and advanced. So that was one thing which I did in drop year. But then the part which I love and which is most uh, heartfelt to me is that so I had a very close friend in my school, and he too took a drop year, and we were kind of preparing for these exams.
Hmm.
We sort of had to we used to have these conversations like every day at night. It was like fixed, and we okay we'll just talk to each other, and we'll discuss like nothing about studies. So
Oh,
and that
okay.
and that
So that's a good thing to
conversation,
have. Yeah.
yeah, that conversation would go up to like
So
except like
nothing about studies and anything
nothing
except
about studies.
studies. Everything except studies.
Yeah. So not
Great.
everything. So we had kind of we had similar intentions. We had similar ideas.
Yeah. Hmm.
Say based on
So he was also into
spirituality.
physics.
No, no, he was more of a computer science guy. So the motive of that conversation, we tried to push each other up.
Right.
Okay, this is what you can do. This is what I can do today. Okay, I wasn't very productive today, so maybe you can
Hmm.
help me out in this. How can I do that? So not in terms of questions again, not in technicalities, but in abstract stuff only. So
Right.
that I think played a big role I think in my life, and that was something which helped me decide in the first place. Okay, I'll have to this is something I'm really interested in, and I'll have to take that up.
So during your 12th grade, you weren't very sure as to what you wanted to do. During the drop year that you took, you figured out, as to what you would want to do, maybe do a physics, and then you enrolled into BSc Physics in Shivnadar. Why Shivnadar?
Chose Shivnada because first of all, my interests were more research oriented, so I didn't want to go something like of applied sciences, which is basically engineering, I would say, in my opinion. So and the colleges that I got in were famous or were well known because of their engineering standards. So I wasn't very sure if they how good they would be if it comes to research or research opportunities or labs in general or faculties, how helpful would they be. So I rather chose to go to a private university. One I looked over to the faculty, that's the web pages of the university, and then I got to choose that. So I think that
Mhm.
was.
So once you came in, what kind of a struggle did you face here? Because again, as any other university, I feel Shivnadar also has like is more towards engineering, placements and stuff like that. It's much more towards engineering. So what kind of struggle did you have once you get in?
So, okay. So I think one of my very first struggles in the university was to find. I was very desperate to find a research opportunity or a summer program or a summer internship right in my first year. So, which is actually not possible if you go into
Mhm.
hardcore sciences because generally people in that field, faculties or even professors in general, they have this sort of an idea that if a student is just entered first year, he doesn't have those prerequisites or that mathematical foundation which is required to actually handle the problems of the current
Mhm.
research that's going on. So that plays a sort of that sort of demotivates you that okay you're not able to contribute. So that was a major struggle, but still I think I was able to um, uh, associate myself with the reading project under one of our visiting faculties.
Mhm.
Although that didn't end up well, but still it gave me an exposure to okay, this is what is needed and this is what I need to do. So that was one of the major struggles, I guess. And so currently I'm in my third year. So even in my second year, I face the same struggle. Uh, but I think doing internships and basically it's not even an internship. I would say it's the more of a summer program because you basically read stuff. You have to do a lot of readings in order to dive into research. So that was one of the things. Um, yeah, so I think that was it. Yeah, I mean that was one of the major struggles.
Are you working on a research right now? Is there anything that you're working on?
Yeah, so currently I am working on a research problem. It's basically minimal. It's basically trying to find different aspects of the minimum length uncertainty in quantum gravity. So
Great. So we do not know anything about that. We understand just quantum. We understand gravity. We also don't know how you put quantum and gravity together. That's French and Latin to us. So very well, all the very best to what you're doing. What would you think about? What would uh, advice you would give to your younger self that you would say?
I currently feel myself see, okay, whatever I've been through and whatever uh, experience that I've had till now, they have. I wouldn't say it was a bad experience or some things could have been better, because the way I am right now, or the kind of problems that I'm getting right now, or the exposure that I'm getting right now, it's somewhat influenced from my past self. So I
Right.
am very happy and I'm very satisfied by that. But again, in general, I would really say we should start to plan things out a bit early. I was late in that sense. So because that then gives you time, and you can explore a lot if you have your interest sorted.
Understood. Right. That's great actually, because I didn't have that issue actually, because I kind of did not plan, but I was really interested. You know this very well, and you also had this kind of same trajectory, because we were both into computer science at one point of time, and I actually was working on projects and stuff like that, and so that was like a normal thing, as to going from that to doing a computer science undergrad and then going for a master's and maybe looking for a job after this. So yeah, that was a common trajectory that I took. Whereas for you, it's an unconventional thing, because I know, but your family is not someone which is from the sciences. We are from the engineering background. Even your parents and also grandparents, they're all from the engineering background. They are not really from the sciences, and so it's a very unconventional thing, as to coming out and doing that's a good thing. Your parents are supportive of that, and maybe doing something different. That's very. What are the plans that you have, coming up? How would you like to move forward in the
So currently, I'm again I'm in that phase that I'm not really sure how to go ahead and how to really pursue that particular research interest, because I'm sort of more inclined towards like uh, like science and spirituality, like seen
Mhm.
together, and that kind of a person. And that is again a very very unconventional. I think that's something I don't think anyone is really pursuing that, at least with
Mhm.
that perspective nowadays. So currently, I am planning to just extend my OUR project work into my thesis, because, as you said,
Mhm.
it's a 4-year program. So I'll have to write a thesis next year. So I'll probably extend that and probably look for a master's program or an integrated PhD program in physics only somewhere abroad. So that's what I think.
So, what are the careers that you have? Do you go to industry? Do you do something, uh, being a physics BSc physics grad, or do you is it is you can only get something once you do a master's or a PhD in there, or because many people don't know this, because sciences is always engineering is always weird. Once you get a degree, you just do your job. You go there, you work on software. But sciences, it's a different area, it's a different thing. We usually see people going into research fellows or becoming professors somewhere. Is there any other kind of industrial work that you do once you get there, or what kind of things?
So, in that sense, I would say it really then boils down to an individual perspective, because the conventional field that a hardcore science graduate has is basically professorship somewhere, a decent with which uh, basically a college which gives you decent amount of money to sustain,
Mhm.
and I think side by side as well, conduct your research. But then there have been many seniors, like even in my college, I've come across many seniors who have tried to change their field, somewhere to say design, from physics to design, or say physics to
Great.
computer science. So in that case, then obviously you are open to more a wider spectrum of opportunities. So that's yes. But the conventional thing remains research and side by side professorship somewhere.
So I guess we're almost out of time. I wanted to ask you how would people want, if they would want to, how would they be able to connect to you? Where can they find you?
Okay, so I think I'm there on LinkedIn and then on Facebook, on Insta, I guess. So yeah, you can
Maybe
share
your
my mail
email
ID.
ID also, if they want to.
Yeah, email. So,
You could share those. Yeah.
okay, it goes like achalvinod@gmail.com. So maybe you could
Right.
mention that one.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'll mention all these details in the comments, in the description. Sorry, descriptions. Right. Thank you very much, Achal, for doing this with us. It was nice
Thank you.
talking
It's
to
been a
you.
pleasure. Okay.
Okay. See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.